Hi creative friends, this is Shreya and thank you so much for being here. So what I did is I allowed this to completely dry and then I went in and I did put some of my chalk paint on this yellow in the background here. And what I want to point out is that when you look at this, do you see what I mean about how this all reads as fabric? Like you don't have to take a really, thick gob of, white or whatever color you're using for your fabric or your bowl or your apple or whatever it is you're doing. You don't have to like cover the whole thing in an opaque coat of paint. Like it is going to read as this is the fabric and, maybe there's light that's kind of coming here. Maybe there's backlighting. Like your mind is going to do a lot of the work. And I want to just bring this up closer and just look at this apple. It's not complete, but can you see how many different colors and values and textures there are? But it still reads as a red apple, even though like there's orange over here, there's Payne's gray, there's Stabilo, my blue Stabilo in like an ultramarine blue. There's this big, piece of yellow over here. There's orange. I could even drop pink in here. It's all going to still read as a red apple. And I'm not done. And I didn't think there would be enough for me to make another video, but I think actually there is. And, like I said, like, you can leave this as is, or you can just continue, working on it, putting more glazes, putting more details. So like I mentioned, I want to put the focus on the apple. So I am going to put the most details on this apple over here. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in, I'm using my, my Stabilo graphite, and I'm just going to put some details on, this apple. I'm just gonna kind of, build up this stem over here. I am going to, I'm gonna put more glazes on here. And the tradition of the still life, you guys, it started off as, people like putting a focus on day-to-day life, because prior to that, like art was very focused on portraits, and it was really only rich people who could, afford to get their portraits done, because I mean the peasants couldn't get their paintings done. So when still lifes came about, it was a way to document like just the everyday life, a loaf of bread, an apple, a bowl. And then you have artists who, took it to another level. Like Cezanne is one of my all-time favorite artists. So as you can see, you guys, all I'm doing is I'm just like putting details on here. And what I want to do is I want to put like a cast, like a really light kind of a shade over here. You can even go for a really light gray. And that just kind of suggests like the light hitting the apple, and maybe like a little bit over here. So I hope you can see, you guys, how, you don't have to like paint every little detail. Now, if that's what you want to do, because I've seen some amazing watercolors and what is it? Colored pencil. I'm sorry, my mind just went blank there for a second. I've seen some amazing colored pencil drawings slash paintings, because they actually do look like paint. I've seen colored pencil that looks like paint. It's so incredible. And then you get like very, very tight, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it's not what I want to do. So, this is just a very loose kind of a, like just a very loose rendition, it's very artistic and just looser, I guess, more atmospheric. and that's kind of the look I'm going for. Now I do have this like a little bit of paint here on my palette, so what I'm gonna do is I am gonna kind of build up the fabric a little bit here. And so even though this is supposed to be like I'm trying to depict white fabric, I can put the white right over here, and what that's going to do is it's going to pull this part of the painting forward, so this part is the closest to me, and no matter what color I use in the background here, it's still all going to read as a white, you know, a piece of white fabric. Or it could be part of the table, you know, maybe the fabric only comes up to like over here, and then the rest of it is the table. My point is, your mind is going to do a lot of the filling in of everything. So I don't want to like paint every single detail. I am just suggesting things. And I'm going to leave like a lot of this yellow over here. And what I am going to do is I am going to drop some of my burnt sienna ink. Ooh, I'm almost out of this bottle here. You guys, I love this burnt sienna ink. It's Liquitex and it is transparent. And see, I'm just going to kind of like drag it in here. And it's just going to create like such delicious color fields. And because it's transparent, like you can still see, you know, the darker colors in the background. And I'm just going to drag some of it in the shadows over here. And I want to like keep that front part white because like I said, I want to like drag, I want to like, you know, pull this part forward. And I think with the apple, I think I am done. Now I am going to take a little bit of this gray over here and just kind of suggest it a little bit. And I just left that as is. I'm not going to put too much detail on that because like I want that to kind of be pushed into the background, and that could be like a glass jar or whatever it is. And I think with this bowl, I am going to add just a few little touches here, but for the most part, I think it's going to be done. And I don't want to put too many details on the bowl because, you know, I want the apple to be like front and center. So I'm going to bring this up closer, and I hope that I don't spill all of this stuff. But I just want you to really take a look at the apple and just see how many different colors there are in there. And even with the bowl, like there are so many different colors, like, but it doesn't matter because, you know, when I look at that bowl, I am going to read that as a bowl. Like, I'm not going to think, oh, is that a vase of flowers? Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, your mind is not going to do that. So I guess the one piece of advice I would have is just to kind of let go a little bit and just have fun with it, you know. And like I personally, I absolutely love doing still lifes. Like it is such a meditative process for me, and it just makes me happy and relaxes me. So I just love doing them. And I know I said I wasn't gonna put detail on this bowl, but I just kind of want to and so what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm just going to like make a shadow here, and then I'm just going to go like, remember I said like to make shadows, you go like this, just back and forth, just back and forth. And I'm going to do that over there as well. And I'm going to take my and just kind of blot it up a little bit. So I think that's done, you guys, and I'm really happy with it. And if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. But I think this is done. Like, I'm not going to fuss over this. I'm not going to do anything more. And I'm really pleased with it. Now, it's not great paper. It's better if I was doing this on Bristol paper or watercolor paper. Is like, I love watercolor paper. But, you know, if you do a still life, you can just, you know, you can frame it and hang it up in your kitchen or whatever, wherever you want. Like, I love doing still lifes. So thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.